So Adobe just raised their prices on their photography plan, and a lot of people are wondering, should they even stick with Adobe software? Well, this video isn't here to convince you to leave Adobe or to stay with them, but there is an alternative, and that is ON1 Photo RAW, which is hands down the best photo editing software on the market today. It is a fully featured packed program, and best of all, it comes at a one-time payment. So stay tuned and let's dive in. Welcome to a video here on Free Will Photos. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name's Chris and I help photographers get their creative ideas out and into the world by teaching them photo editing software. If that's something you're interested in, consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, today we're talking about ON1 Photo RAW 2025, which by far is the best photo editing software on the market today. This is my personal opinion, but it is backed by a lot of things which we're going to cover today. Now, I'm only going to hit the highlights of what this software is able to do. We'll even call it the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. You can do so much with this program that I can't cover it all in a single video, but I got plenty of videos on my channel. So if you are new to ON1 and you want to explore it, then please check the videos on the channel and see if this is the right software for you. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the first feature that I want to cover. All right, so one of my favorite tools inside of ON1 Photo RAW is Brilliance AI. Now, this is essentially one-click editing. For anyone who's a beginner to photo editing, this may be all that you need. Let me show you how it works. When you come into ON1 Photo RAW, and this is the edit module, you'll just go ahead and click on Brilliance AI, and it's going to instantly process the image. Now, it could take some time depending on the software, or the hardware that your computer is running, but ultimately it's going to look at the image, assess it, and then what it's doing is it's actually manipulating the tone and color sliders that are down here. It's doing this for you so you don't have to. And as you get better at photo editing, if you are new, then you'll know exactly which sliders you need to come in here and maneuver in order to get a look. But based off of coming in straight to photo editing, this is what we came into the editing bay with, or the edit module with. And with a single click, this is what I've gotten so far. And I think that this works out really, really well. Now, one of the things that I really love about ON1 Photo RAW is the ability to organize my photos fairly simple, and they're also easy to recall. Now, there's a lot of stuff under the hood when it comes to the catalog and the organization tools and capabilities of ON1 Photo RAW. But the gist of it is, you will be able to navigate to your hard drive on your computer. As you can see over here on the left side, I have my local drives. These are all of the hard drives attached to my computer, with one of these being an SD card. And then down here are all of the folders with tons and tons of images. What I also have the ability to do is to move things into albums. Now, I know a lot of people don't use albums, but I think that's where the power of a system like ON1 Photo RAW really comes in, because you can essentially put your images anywhere on a hard drive as long as it makes sense. And then you can point photos to a collection. So right here, I have a collection of flowers, and these flowers were shot on all different days. They're in many different folders across my hard drive, but because I created an album, I'm able to easily categorize them or collect them, and then I can kind of work on them as a collection if I so choose. And that's one of the benefits of working inside of ON1. And I know a lot of software has this capability, but albums is one of my favorite features inside of ON1 Photo RAW. All right, so another of my favorite features inside of ON1 Photo RAW is the masking tools that are available. Now in this video, I'm not going to cover all of them because there are a lot of tools available. But in the latest version of ON1 Photo RAW 2025, we get something called a depth mask. And that is something I'll show you on this image here. All you have to do on any of the masks that are available inside of ON1, you can just right click and click on Create Depth Mask. Now, if you're not familiar with depth masks, that's perfectly fine. Essentially, what it's doing is it's looking at the image to figure out what's closest to the lens and then what's furthest from the lens. In this image, if I hit the letter O to show the mask option or the mask overlay, you can see anything in white is what is selected and anything that's in black is not selected. Or, in other words, anything in white is getting the effect, in this case, a negative exposure, and anything in black is not getting the effect. I easily created this mask. Now, obviously, this is doing the opposite of what I want it to do, because if you look here, it's actually darkening everything in the foreground, and I want to darken the things in the background to make sure that the item that was in focus, which is this main flower here, is actually brighter than the rest of the image. In order for me to reverse the mask, I can come back over to the mask, right click and hit invert. And that simple or that quick, I was able to make an adjustment using something that is a fairly complex masking tool. Now, I could refine this mask, and that goes outside of the scope of sharing the feature. But this is one of the many tools of masking that makes ON1 Photo RAW worth picking up as an alternative compared to some other software on the market. Okay, so now we're going to talk about something that's extremely important, which is exporting. Usually, this is like the least glamorous portion of a photo editing software, but let's face it, if you have the greatest edit and it stays inside of your software and you don't get to export it so you can share it and post it, then that software probably isn't the greatest. Now, I will say ON1 has a extremely robust export system that many people may not need. However, as you grow and you do need things, you're going to find that there's a lot of really cool tools. Now, one of my favorite ways of configuring as I export my images is one, I can set presets. So if I am always exporting a set of images or to a particular folder, whatever it may be, I can do that by setting that up over here. But what's really cool is I also have an iCloud subscription for my Apple devices. If you want to upload directly to a folder in iCloud, you can do that using ON1 Photo RAW, which is what happens when I export over here. And you can see that I've named this Guru Shots Portfolio iCloud. So when I want to work on photos in ON1 and then send them to my iCloud, I just select this preset and it's all done. Now, ON1 can do a lot more than what I've covered in today's content. If you want to learn more about the software, I recommend you check the link in the description box below. It is an affiliate link. It'll take you over to the software page. If you decide to pick it up after you've looked at it, consider using my coupon code FreeWillPhotos20. It'll save you some money when you check out, and I make a small commission, and I greatly appreciate everyone who uses it. Now, one of the things that I will caution you on, or at least point you to, is the system requirements. Make sure that you review those thoroughly and then check your machine. What I would hate for you to do is to purchase ON1 Photo RAW and then find that you don't meet the system requirements in order to actually use the capabilities found inside of the software. So if you got questions about this wonderful piece of software, please leave it in the comment section or send me an email. You'll also be able to find that in the description box below. Until next time, I want you guys to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.